One of us had a perfect week with our NFL picks last week.
Don't say that very often.
It's Onorato and Miller. It's Chris. It's Ash. Major League Baseball has its dream World Series matchup. The league was going to win out mostly whether the Mets or the Dodgers came through on the NL side because of what the Yankees did on the AL side. But this is better for baseball, Dodgers Yankees, than Mets Yankees, for as much as New York people would have loved to see a Subway Series. RPI head coach Dave Smith on the show. It's RPI-Union hockey rivalry week. Hall of Fame manager Tony La Russa will join us. And there's history in the National Lacrosse League via the Albany FireWolves. And the first female scout, Shonly Wallace, will join us as well. Let's go. It's Onorato and Miller.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpen House.
All right, Ash, Yankees, Dodgers. Haven't seen this in the World Series since, 81? Which, by the way, is when Fernando Valenzuela, who just passed, was Rookie of the Year and Cy Young. Fernando Mania, great 30 for 30 if you haven't seen it, about why he's so significant in that franchise history beyond how dominant he was early on in his career. Okay, so Yankees, Dodgers. And as I said in the beginning there, this is better for baseball than Yankees Mets. It's bicoastal.
Sure. Yes,
it's not regional. Baseball's a very regional sport already. I don't know that people in Arizona and Missouri and Seattle are really keyed in on Yankees Mets. It feels so East Coast heavy, New York City centric. This now is, I think, a better matchup for baseball. Bigger stars in LA with Betts and Ohtani and Freeman if he's healthy than what the Mets had, which was just kind of a magical, fun run, a team that you never thought was going to be there at the beginning of this season, and that's what made it fun.
Yeah, listen, we've talked about it was Arizona and Texas last year, and the ratings were as bad as it gets. So I think if you had a Subway Series, they were still going to be pretty good,
no doubt.
Comparatively. Yes, but the people who are interested would be New Yorkers for the most part, I think. Lindor and Alonso are stars. Shohei, Freddie, and Mookie are bigger stars.
Yeah.
Shohei is the biggest star on the planet.
Yes.
Outside of Aaron Judge.
And it's been talked about this week that maybe the ratings in Japan will be better than in America and maybe even in New York. So that will be kind of something interesting to watch. John and Rita both say go Yankees. Sam is with us as well. Yes, Sam, thank you, buddy, for stopping to Raymore and Flanagan. I'm wearing my pink every single day. My tie is pink every single day in the month of October. It's a little bit of a challenge, and Carol's with us as well. Always good to have you guys with us. Yes, Ashley is very happy.
I am
about the
ready
Yankees.
to rock.
Think about how long it's been. We won't spend a ton of time on this because games 1 and 2 are Friday and Saturday. And so if you're watching this on Sunday morning, we already know the result of the first 2 games of the series. And we've got a ton of guests on the show. But think about how long we're talking 15 years since they played in a World Series.
And that's the thing. People always say like, oh, well, everyone hates a winner. It's been a long time since the Yankees have won. A long time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready.
We did this on last week's show about why people hate the Cowboys and Notre Dame and the Yankees, and because they get all the media attention despite not having all of the wins. All right, we're back in a minute here on Onorato and Miller, our Week 8 NFL picks after a perfect week for one of us last week.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bev's. At the end of the day, if you walk in your stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Last week was a good week. Quick shout out here from
Finally.
our guy Spearsy. Dave, good to see
Hi,
you,
Dave.
buddy. Just celebrated his first wedding anniversary
Ooh,
recently.
good for
So
him.
congrats to you and Rachel, buddy. Okay, last week looked like this. Our picks took a couple of shots. I mean, the Jets Steelers game wasn't even close. I'm not going to rehash it, but you can see Ash was 6-0. Vaulting her to the lead, 21-17
I'm back.
on the season. Here we go. We got to rip through our picks here. Jets at the Patriots. I mean, look, even Vegas is figuring. New York figures this out at some point. We don't believe them.
At least not to the tune of 7.5 points. I still think the Jets probably win, but the 7.5 was too big.
If they don't win,
it's real problems. Real problems.
They handled New England earlier this season. Not much of a problem. Now at New England, Patriots they'll muck it up. They're going to play well. And honestly, Drake May is showing some real promise. Yeah, that they may have gotten their quarterback here for the future. Falcons and Bucks. This I didn't even really spend a lot of time thinking about it. Godwin out for the year. Evans hamstring, going to miss this game as well. Shame on the Falcons if they don't win. And if they don't cover.
Yeah, and that was kind of my thing. The injuries are too significant for Baker and the Bucks.
But an interesting game, 4-3 versus 4-3 in that AFC in the NFC
big game in
South,
the division.
which, other than the Panthers, nobody's really separating themselves too much, although I think New Orleans is still stuck on 2 wins here.
I don't have to pick against the Bills.
Yeah, because they helped you out last
They
week.
did.
Is this an ongoing thing that the next time Buffalo burns you, you're done with them, or it was just a last week thing?
No, we'll see how it goes, but just last week.
Okay.
I may feel differently if they burn me this week.
So Buffalo to win at Seattle, not easy.
No,
what we're
not
asking
at all.
them to do by a field goal, but the addition of Amari Cooper already seems
they should be a better team
to be paying off pretty good there. All right. Now look, I want to reserve the right to
this is not how this works.
adjust my pick
based on Jaden Daniels.
Based on Jaden Daniels.
You have to know going in.
Well, I don't know. This is the thing. I'm betting on him playing. He didn't practice on Wednesday, and they're kind of wait till Friday to see. I think so too.
I think he'll play.
His mom posted on social media, he's good. So I'm taking that to mean he will play on Sunday. It happened early in that game this past Sunday. Anyway, Washington, Mariota or Daniels, fine. I'll ride with them.
I
Give me
picked
the
the Giants before I knew Neighbors and Thibodeau were out 1 week.
Yeah.
And I still rode with it.
Did they cover?
They did. I think.
Okay.
I think so.
And you're on the Bears. Why?
Because they're playing really well.
Yeah.
And listen, we've talked about they haven't played anybody in their division yet, so this is likely to change, but they look like a team that's just kind of starting to figure it out. Caleb Williams has been much better than I would have anticipated. And they're a well-rounded team.
Yeah. They haven't beaten anybody. You look at their wins, they're 4-2, and you look at the wins and go, man, who have they beaten? To your point, they haven't played anybody in the division yet. But the next, if after Washington, I think their next 3 are very manageable. This could be an interesting record when they get to just beyond the midway point.
I have no idea about this game. I mean,
really? Sunday nighter on News Channel 13. Why no idea about this game? Dallas stinks.
Dallas does stink, but the Niners aren't as good as they should be either. So I'm just kind of waiting for Dallas to do what they do and like surprise somebody for a week and then go back to stinking.
And that could be here. I mean, look, they won.
Rivalry game.
They won at Pittsburgh. It's at home where they seem to really struggle this year. So will they win again on a Sunday night on the road? To your point, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Brian's with us. Appreciate you always being here, man. He's been consistent here lately, which is awesome. Love seeing that. Rockman has his Dodgers hat.
And already sent me a picture.
And he's saying, let's go Dodgers. Okay, love it. Cool. All right, let's get into the Monday nighter here. Giants and Steelers.
This could go either way for me, but I'm going Steelers. Russ seemed to ignite that offense pretty well last week. I mean, they scored more points in the first half than they had all season long with Justin Fields. So maybe he
Second
is.
half. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Big second half.
Maybe he is the answer. I think it was the first half. I think he had scored. It was only like 13, and that was more points than they had scored in the first half all year. Was the stat that I saw when I was watching.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going Steelers.
Yeah, same. It's falling apart with the Giants here. Dable benches Jones. He's upset about it, makes it known in the post game. They're not healthy. And yes, to your point, the Steelers made it sound like Russ was going to add a real element of downfield passing in this offense, and it has already showed once. Yeah, okay. So here we go. We're only different in one game, right?
Yep. I'm
on Washington. You're on Chicago. We'll see how that plays out. You were 6-0 a week ago.
We could both be 1 and now we can't both be. But.
Yeah, don't put that bad juju out there. Okay. Quick break here. When we come back, RPI head coach Dave Smith. It's Engineers Garnet Chargers week.
I'll always forget that.
I know. I just barely remembered when we spoke to him earlier in the week. Here he is.
I'm Jeff Fukelek. I'm owner of Bev's, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bev's. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Back on Onorato and Miller, and we say it every year, the college hockey season, the hockey season in general just sneaks up on you. And as a fan, if I feel like there's very little downtime in between the end of the season and the beginning of the season, you know the coaches feel the same way too. Dave Smith, the head coach at RPI, with us here on the show. It's good to see you, man. How are you?
Doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me.
2-1-1 to start things. But what jumps out to me is there are no shortage of goals with this team so far. 21 of them through 4 games. Did you know this was going to be a strength early on for you to be able to score?
You know, I'd like to tell you that we knew exactly what was going to happen, that we would average that many, but we knew that we had some experience coming back. We knew that we changed the look in 2 places in particular. One is our overall team speed, but the other is the mobility on the back end. And so when you do those things, it's designed to help with your puck possession and your attack. And so it's not a surprise that we're doing well. Now it's, but you never know how it could go. Now we just need to, maintain that.
Okay. And 13 different goal scorers.
That's awesome.
So my question is always, do you want to have the ability where a lot of guys or any guy on any given night could score, or I know I'm going to get a certain number of goals from maybe this 1 or 2 particular people?
I'm a fan too, right? Like, I want to know that 13 guys are going to score all the time. What I think is impressive about having 13 different goal scorers, right? Jordan Tonelli's only played 3 minutes. He's a 5th-year guy. Sutter Mazzati hasn't played a minute yet. So some guys that may not have gotten opportunities with those guys in there have stepped in right away and shown that they're ready. So experience tells me that more experience can provide more consistency. So you would expect a Jake Lee, you would expect Dovar Tinling, Tyler Hodson now in his 2nd year is doing really well. You expect the consistent scoring from them. If the newer guys, the Jagger Tappers of the world, can chip in, all of a sudden that's a great freshman year. But we don't expect the same consistency from them. We'll take it and we want it and we plan and prepare for it, but we do expect it from the returning top 6 guy for sure.
What's the conversation you have with a goalie who obviously has a ton of experience in net for you and a guy like Watson when there's a grad transfer coming in with a ton of experience from Ferris? How do you manage the expectations and the personalities of players who obviously both want to be in there and you've split their time so far?
Yeah, it actually goes back to the end of last season, even before that. Jack knew that we were recruiting goalies, and we were Carson Cherepak. We had a conversation with him. Brett Miller graduated and moved on, so went in the transfer portal. Carson Cherepak, we wanted back. We said, hey, Carson, if you want to be here, this is what your role is. But all the way along through those, and Carson ended up going to a Canadian university, U Sports. All the way along, we told Jack, hey, we want to bring in a transfer and we want to bring in a freshman. The freshman actually committed first. Carson Dorfman, great kid from Nashville, Tennessee, played some in the USHL, the North American League. He's fit in seamlessly on and off the ice. So we were going after a transfer. He doesn't need to know exactly who they are and where they're playing, but once we committed him, we just told Jack, hey, we've got another guy, and the plan is to split you guys and let you guys determine who gets more ice time at what time. And that's exactly the way the plan has gone. And Jack has embraced it and encouraged it, and those guys get along very well.
Nashville, which how many years ago nobody would have ever thought of that as a potential, not that you recruited him in Nashville, but he would have started playing as a kid there. What's the most surprising place you've recruited a kid and you found out his hometown, you went, boy, we were playing hockey there, or hockey was big where you were?
Well, we've got 3 Latvians on our team right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all from around Riga, which our assistant coach is from Riga as well. He coached those guys at the World Junior Tournament. But I don't know. I mean, hockey's everywhere. It follows the NHL cities. It follows the college hockey cities. It follows where they have pro in Europe. So, I mean, we've had guys from, I was in a town called Ängelholm, Sweden. And I took the plane into, I think it was Amsterdam right there. My geography sometimes gets a little off. And, I had a guy pick me up. And he drove me across this massive bridge from Amsterdam. Again, I think it was Amsterdam, into the southwest portion of Sweden. And, it was a ride. And I get into this little wee Swedish town. And that's a moment that I had. I went, holy cow, they play hockey here. Like, there was a parade going on. It was really neat. But the fact that Sweden develops hockey players isn't a surprise. And they come from big cities and small towns. But sometimes you get to these little places. In my hometown of Arthur, Ontario, not a lot of hockey guys come from there. So they really can come from everywhere.
Yeah, and the Union tie-in here is you'll play a home and home with the Garnet Chargers. I still need to get used to saying that. I remember when Union was making its run and Gostisbehere was so good, and we're like, you're from Florida? Like, how did that? But to your point, if hockey follows NHL franchises, it all makes sense across the country.
Yeah, there was a really interesting study when I was on the Division I side, on board with the Division I group, and there was, I think, just shy of 1,000 minor hockey players playing in Huntsville, Alabama. And the University of Alabama at Huntsville had a Division I hockey team there. So when they lose that team and something for the young people to aspire to, it's disappointing. It's disappointing because it does have a big effect. And we see players, really good players, coming out of Buffalo, St. Louis, Nashville now. Vegas is going to start having more. We're seeing Austin Matthews come from Phoenix, and that's disappointing. So when's the next star come from Utah? That's the next question.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, good. Do you enjoy Union Week, or does it get annoying for you? Like, everybody wants to talk about Union RPI, right? Like it 2 games, even the third one doesn't really count. Does it start to annoy you that the focus is so much on these 2 teams when they get together?
I love it. I mean, the bigger the stage for our guys to play on, the bigger the pressure. That's what they want. They want to play important games. And when the spotlight gets brighter, that just means it's a more important game. So the fact that it's Union and it's our 5th and 6th game of the year, that makes me happy. That makes me happy because we're going to see Union's best. We're going to see our best. Again, that's the plan for both teams, and you're going to see how they respond. But we want, in recruiting, important games. We want to talk about these games, and I wish every weekend was bigger and brighter than the one before.
In the age of social media, everybody knows everybody. I'm sure you've got a ton of guys on your team who know guys on the other side. Every weekend you play, forget just Union RPI. So is the rivalry diminished in a way because of that, Dave? Like, Yankees Red Sox doesn't feel the same the way it did 15, 20, forget 40, 50 years ago. It feels like rivalries are lacking something now, and I'm going to blame just the access everybody has to connect digitally, that you can talk to anybody at any time. And you probably, especially in hockey, through the youth circuit, you come across guys constantly, I'm sure. Do your players feel this week and every game against Union is different?
So I think the guys do feel it's a rivalry week.
Okay.
And I'll give you my editorial on rivalries.
Yeah.
I think the way that free agency has gone, especially in baseball, and players don't stay with the same organizations for a long period of time, where, you know, Wade Boggs can hate Don Mattingly, right? That just seems natural. But now free agency has changed that. In college, you've got transfer portal. You've got these guys that come up and they play on 3, 4, 5 teams, at high levels before they get here. So they do know each other. But in college, we still have, and in pro too, Yankees don't like the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Right. RPI doesn't like Union. And when you play them, the history of the alums, I think, gets exaggerated in a good way, that, hey, we want to beat Union. Union wants to beat us. So the longer that you're with an organization, a program, or a franchise, I think that helps your personal part of the rivalry. But there's so many other people that are watching this and feeling this that are just flat out RPI versus Union. So I think the rivalry is real, and I think it's great.
Friday night at the Fieldhouse, I want to point out a stretch of games you have at home also. 11, 15, November 15th and 16th, Clarkson, St. Lawrence, and then November 30th and December 1st, both against Maine. So those are 4 straight home games you'll play at the Fieldhouse, a break in there for Thanksgiving, it feels like, Coach. Give me an outlook on this team here. You know, we chatted very casually before the season started and where you kind of felt you were. Is there anything in the first 4 games that has surprised you, given you more reason for hope or promise, and how this season should play out in your mind?
Yeah, I'm a glass half full guy, try to be. And I believe in our group. I believe in our coaches. I believe in what we can do here. But last year tested that belief. We had a tough year. So we made what we believe are the necessary changes, and we're seeing positive things. We get punched in the mouth a little bit against Niagara. We had some real positives, but we did get punched in the mouth, right, with an overtime loss in the second night.
Yeah.
But we showed great resiliency, grit, determination, and battle back. That is a real positive step, because we're going to get punched in the mouth again. It's going to happen. It might happen at some point on Friday night. We always hope it doesn't, but we're prepared for that. I just before you and I got on, just had a one-on-one with our captain, Jake Gagnon, who's a great human, been with us for 5 years, talking about the guys. And we had a 6:45 a.m. lift this morning. He was like, Coach, the energy was awesome. The vibe was great. Those are good signs. The guys are energized by each other. They're energized by the work we put in. That's a promising sign. But we have to still be able to weather storms when the storms come. We have to be able to, make hay when the sun's shining. So I believe in our group. I believe in the coaches and the process we put in there, but we've still got to go out and do it. And I'm excited about that challenge and looking forward to it.
You are like some other coaches I know well who just appreciate watching other sports. And can I learn something maybe from the way a coach in a different sport did something, or look at the way that player performed under pressure? And I wonder why. Can we get into the psyche of that? What do you think the way the Bills and Josh Allen have played this year, when a lot of people, myself included, were doubting they've lost too much? There are injuries. They trade Diggs. Guys aren't back. It's just not going to work. And here they are. I mean, not that the division is maybe anything to be afraid of at this point, but they look like if somebody's going to beat the Chiefs, it's either Buffalo or Baltimore, right?
well, Baltimore after last night's game, but Buffalo after Sunday's game. So I love what their organization did, and they invested in their team. And I think Diggs is a phenomenal athlete and a tremendous wide receiver.
Yep.
But maybe got a little bigger than the group. And I think he's doing well down in Houston, and I'm happy for him. Don't know him, but I'm happy for a pro to succeed because he's good.
Yes.
But I really love what Buffalo has done, the Bills have done in investing in team, and Josh Allen is the centerpiece of all of it. And they've got other really important pieces, but it was team first. And that's a mantra that I think most coaches are trying to learn. How do you bring that team together? How do you have them grow together? How do you get them to have that vibe when they come to the rink or the field or the diamond, whatever they are, where they love each other and they're playing for something bigger than just the name on the back of the jersey?
Yankees or Dodgers in the World Series?
I actually love the Yankees Guardians series. There was the one night when
That was fun.
when they hit that 3-run homer in the 8th, and I was cheering for that, and then I was cheering for the Cleveland homers, in the 9th and the 10th. I'm going to say Yankees. I'm a closet Dodgers fan. I'm a forever Blue Jays, but I love the Dodgers. I love how they go after winning as an organization. But being here, being to the Yankees game, this year, and I'd love to be in New York, the state. I'd love to be in the city too, with the Yankees winning it. But I think it's a great series, and looking forward to watching it. How about you?
Well,
Anybody ever asked you that?
My wife is a Yankees fan, so what do you think my answer is?
Dodgers? You tell her.
I'm a National League guy. I generally lean that way, even if it isn't the Braves. But I will be supporting the Yankees.
Yeah. I love the changes that Major League Baseball made with the timing of the pitches. It's so much more fun to watch, and those are great games. And I love the response to adversity when they give up a homer and they got to come back the next night and throw their 13 pitches before they get pulled again.
All right, Coach. Good luck this weekend, man. I know we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Sounds great. Thanks, Chris.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Well, the conversations we get to have with Dave Smith, RPI Hockey,
How about yes?
but just
So Dodgers?
yeah. And, he said to me after this very quickly, he said, I love that we get to talk about all kinds of different things, maybe not just of my power play or the goaltending, right? And I said,
That's how you roll.
When do we have you on the next time? We've already talked enough hockey here. The next
Yep.
time we have you on, we'll talk about everything else under the sun,
Food
probably.
and
Yeah, whatever.
all kinds of things.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Bill Miller and the great team at Performance Industrial, where there's never a job that's too dirty or too difficult for them to get it done. Now we can be done with the
hope so.
LeBron, Bronny James history hype. It has happened. It was cool to see the Griffies out there, senior
That
and
was the
junior.
coolest part.
And then Bronny played 3 minutes.
Yeah.
He checked in at some point in the first half, checked out, never came back in. The cool part was the Griffies, and then LeBron and Bronny checking into the
Together.
game together.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Bronny did not score, didn't even attempt a shot. The history has been made. Let him play now and try to become a better player in the G League. Sitting on the bench at the NBA level will do him no good. We're good now.
Yeah.
We are done with this.
Do you know how long I've been good for?
Well, I know, and
Since before they drafted him.
I'm late to the party in terms of how you felt about Bronny for a long time now, and so yeah, I don't blame you. Our buddy David,
David.
Says good evening, and he's
What's up,
watching.
pal?
He's
Mr. Cahos.
rooting for the Yankees
Yes,
in
he
a
is.
big way, which is
That guy goes to
certainly
more
no
Yankee games
surprise.
than anybody I know.
No. All right, back in another minute here on Onorato and Miller. Hall of Fame manager Tony La Russa. He's got a really cool new nonprofit he has created with his family, and it's benefiting the PenFed Foundation. We're talking with the skipper and the president of that organization next.
With camping all over again with a new RV from Alpenhaus. As our attention turns to changing leaves and tailgate parties, be sure to stop by Alpenhaus to find the perfect RV for your fall camping trips. You'll love this Coachman Catalina for only $131 a month. And check out this Keystone Cougar Sport for only $358 a month. Whether you're snowbirds heading south or leaf peeping through New England, our outfitters will make sure you have everything you need for your autumn adventure. Shop online at alpenhausrv.com or come see us in Amsterdam and Saratoga.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just gonna have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bevs. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Ash, if there are two things we love more or maybe as much as sports, dogs and any organization that supports our military, correct?
Very true. Very true. And you've got the military connection with, you used to work up near Fort Drum, and
Yep.
dogs are my favorite thing on the planet. So
Absolutely. I know, more than humans even.
Yes.
Let's bring two still really good humans onto the show here. We're really happy to be joined by Andrea McCarron and Tony La Russa. Of course, many of you watching know Tony as a Hall of Fame manager. Andrea is the president of the PenFed Foundation. And Skipper, we have who in your lap?
This is Wyatt. He's part of 4 puppies that we just rescued. And I'll start by agreeing with what you said. They're better than people. Pets are better than people. So we're very fortunate and we're very involved with rescues.
But Tony, let me ask you this. What's more comforting, a dog or Albert Pujols up in a big spot?
Well, I mean, Albert, his nickname was Albert P. Pujols, Albert Perfect Pujols. But every once in a while, you hit 300, you make 7 outs. The dog hits 1,000. Never anything wrong. Yeah.
Oh.
Andrea, Chris mentioned the PenFed Foundation, and you're the president. Can you kind of explain your attachment to this and why you felt such a strong pull to be involved with military, obviously, and dogs? We'll find out here.
Absolutely. At the PenFed Foundation, we firmly believe that every veteran deserves a home run. And who better to partner with than Tony La Russa and his family? And look at Wyatt. I mean, come on, guys. There is so much research, and both of you seem to know that any pet, whether a dog or a cat, makes life better. And that's especially true for veterans and military families. Dogs and cats are life-changing, and we can never do enough for our military.
Tony, I know this has always been such a passion of yours, animal rescue, and now having the PenFed Foundation as a beneficiary of a new nonprofit you've started. Why have you always put so much energy behind animals?
The story is actually about our family. Elaine, our daughters Bianca and Devin. From day one, we have shared this passion for rescued animals. The euthanasia rate is just beyond scary and needed to be handled. So we've always been involved. Recently, we've continued that by starting this new nonprofit, and we're looking forward to actually being innovative, and it's going to involve rescues, and we've always felt that whatever level you contribute to our nonprofit, you're a champion. So it's something with champions rescuing, and connection obviously is, we've learned we're rescuing them, but they rescue us as well, and that's been one of our features. A great example is what veterans, we all know can't do enough for them.
Yep.
But what they do to preserve our freedom and history, and this companion animal, excuse me, the unconditional love, it's miraculous. The quality of life that improves for veterans.
What's better than those puppy kisses? I mean, come on, he's gotten both of you already.
Well, if you think of military families, think of the long deployments they have to endure. Think of military children who have to move and start a new life in a new community. The pet they have is their constant. And research shows that it helps so much with the transition. It helps entire families. Mentally and physically, families come together and walk the dog, for example. So I don't see any downside. And the PenFed Foundation partners with the La Russa family because they have the rescue connections. We have the military connections. And so this is the perfect marriage of the two.
And if you want to find out more about the PenFed Foundation, we've got the link on our website, wnyt.com/links, and just look for the PenFed Foundation there. Tony, you're a 4-time manager of the year. You're a Hall of Famer. I imagine you still watch baseball with some passion as well. This is like a to die for World Series from a Major League Baseball office perspective, the Yankees and the Dodgers. Why? My question is just based really around the postseason here. As somebody who has pulled so many strings over your career, how come it seems strategy changes so significantly once we get to the postseason? Is it simply because the pressure is ratcheted up that every game and every inning takes on greater importance?
That's a great point to make that you just made, because there's nothing like for a person in uniform. You play 162 games over 6 months. I mean, it's really a marathon, up, down, face all kinds of challenges. But the excitement of October and what you finally see, you feel the urgency. Because if you're playing in the middle of the season and you get off to a slow start, you're in a slump. You got all these games to make up. But the idea that literally the game you're playing is the most important part of your life. Play like it's the 7th game of the World Series, even though it may not be. And that is exciting and fun because you're not saving anything for later. And it's so, by the way, it's so unpredictable. I get asked all the time, who you favor, the Dodgers or the Yankees? Well, it's not a question of favor. Who you think is going to win? As an expert being around forever, flip a coin. Short series, that's what makes it exciting. It's so unpredictable.
I was gonna say I'm a Yankees fan, so that's who I'll be rooting for. But Chris, I'm not sure he's a Braves fan, so I don't know what we'll be doing in this house.
I'm gonna stay quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Andrea,
well, I think we can all be fans of rescue animals and our military.
No doubt.
And a shameless plug for Wyatt has a sibling available for adoption. So I bet you've got somebody in Albany who would just love to adopt a puppy.
Well, those 4 puppies are a good example of the family. We rescued 4 of them. Elaine and I are keeping 1. Bianca's keeping 1. Devin's keeping 1. There's 1 available.
One available.
And Andrea,
and I can't bring it home.
And I was going to say, I don't know that we've touched specifically on this, but PenFed raises dogs for service members as well as those with disabilities.
Right.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful to you for mentioning that. I actually raised my first 2 service dogs working in a newsroom. And I am not sure whether it is concerning or entertaining that more of our audience voted on my dogs' names than ever voted in DC primary history. But I am currently raising service dog number 6. And that's why I'm so passionate about animals for veterans. Literally 4 of the first 6 dogs, their veterans told me that dog saved their life. So these animals are not just life-changing, they're absolutely life-saving. And all of us can be champions of this cause.
And Andrea, you would say if somebody, well, it's going to be too much work. How could I possibly turn a dog into a service animal for one of our military vets? What would you say to that?
That's the question I get probably every day, Chris. And that is, how can I not? How can I not raise an animal for a service member when there's a need? When you meet the person whose life you've changed or saved, There's nothing like it. And the same is very true of rescue animals. And I really applaud the La Russa family for championing this cause. I mean, what is more important than giving back to the military community? Fewer than 1% of Americans serve. So it is incumbent on the 99% of us who do not serve in the military to support those who do. And what better way than providing a dog or a cat into their home?
You know, I would add that when the concept was first thought of, would a veteran be helped by a rescued animal? The assumption was the unconditional. What has happened is the testimonials make it all be true. I mean, they'll bring you to your tears when you see the effect that they have on these veterans. No guns under the pillow, not afraid to go out during the middle of the day because they have their companion with them. So they're like little miracles for all of us, but especially for veterans. You can't do enough for them, as I said. And a dog. We say dogs because that's more often. Andrea and I are both cat lovers, so maybe someday we can add cats.
Well, Tony, I know you hang up the cleats because you want to kind of ride off into the sunset, but it sounds like you're keeping plenty busy with this partnership, and you both are helping a lot of people. So congratulations to you both.
Well, thank you. It's animals, our family, and you know, I'm really a boring guy. All I know is baseball since I was, signed at 17 to now, and that's still professional passion. Animals and who they can rescue. That's the personal passion for our whole family.
Well, hey, it's the people who don't know baseball who think it's boring. There's nothing boring about baseball. Tony, an incredible career and now quite the cause. Andrea, thank you so much.
Thank you both so much.
Thanks for the opportunity to talk. Thank you.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable. This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
And back after that conversation with Tony La Russa and Andrea McCarron. Very, very cool, the work they are doing with the PenFed Foundation. And Ash, now to you with that Performance Industrial Dirty Difficult Done.
My Dirty Difficult Done is New York professional basketball title in New York State. It's not the Knicks. It's not the Nets. It's the New York Liberty. And this is their first title in franchise history, which is, I believe this is their 28th season. But this is what Breanna Stewart set out to do. She left Seattle, came back home to New York to try to win them a title. Sabrina Ionescu on the team. They were one of those kind of powerful teams all year long and finally get it done. Not easy. Game 5, so 5-game series in the WNBA Finals. Game 5, overtime game 5. And they finally get done. So cool to see, because I think that, not that Stewie needed anything else, but, it's good to see her win one in her home state.
Helps to have it. Yeah, for sure.
And that's probably not their last.
I would hope not. I mean, they got to the finals last year. This was the first title in now 6 attempts to get it done from a franchise perspective. So, yeah, very cool.
And Minnesota's won enough.
Yeah. I wonder if Kev and my niece Lily were watching some of that. Well, yeah, nobody likes to lose in that title game. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Okay. One more guest to go here. And then we will wrap this thing up. There is history being made in the National Lacrosse League, and that's thanks to the Albany FireWolves hiring Shonly Wallace as the first female scout.
She's cool.
In league history. This was a lot of fun.
She's cool.
My first time meeting her. Chance for you guys to meet her now.
Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bev's, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just gonna have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always gonna get the same experience when you shop at Bev's. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're gonna see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Welcome back to Onorato and Miller, and lacrosse season is almost here.
Right.
But the warm kind.
Dave Smith earlier in the show, it's like hockey season really sneaks up on you. Guess what? It's pretty much already lacrosse season.
Now it's lacrosse season, and I'll be on the sidelines for the FireWolves. Right. And I've got another female on the team to bond with. And listen, this is a record-setting female. So Shonly Wallace has just been named the first ever female scout in the NLL, and she joins us. We're very blessed. Shonly, thanks so much for joining us.
Aw, thank you. Thanks for having me. This is so exciting.
What's it been like? I mean, when you say first ever in a league's history of anything, it's probably pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is a dream come true and something I always said I wanted to do. So the fact that the day is here is pretty crazy and surreal. And huge thanks to the FireWolves and the NLL just doing an awesome job, you know, covering it. And, you know, just the support of, you know, having, you know, females involved with the league and in box lacrosse is just an incredible honor. So
you played collegiately at Albany part of your time, oh, by the way. And you played for the women's national team for Canada. What makes you a good scout? What makes anybody a good scout? What are the, like, I mean, having a knowledge of the game obviously is your baseline, but for you to get this position, what kind of do you feel like gave you the leg up?
Yeah, I mean, I just think my, you know, intensity and my desire just to, you know, get better and be a part of, you know, all parts of lacrosse that I can. I mean, when I watch a game, it's not like I'm just sitting there being like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is cool. Right. Like, I am just, ever since I was little, like, I was sitting there with my dad and we were just analyzing the game. We were like, oh, did you see that? Did you see this? Oh, he could have, you know, moved it here. Did you see the way he beat the goalie or whatever it was? Right. And so I think just my constant desire to, like, be better as a player, you know, has really attributed to the passion I have in wanting to coach and, you know, have a career in lacrosse. And yeah, I mean, I think that's the first step of, you know, really wanting to do that and just, you know, loving what you do and just that constant, to improve and be the best that you can be.
Shonly, you're Canadian. That gives you a leg up, number one, because us Americans don't know as much about box lacrosse as the Canadians do. But
wait a minute, didn't the USA win gold in the
Take
box?
You're bringing that up now.
Take it easy on her, would you?
I'm just saying, you know.
That doesn't mean she doesn't know more than anyone else about the game.
Very true. Certainly knows more than me. Yeah.
So we know you from playing field lacrosse, and Chris mentioned Albany, but Oregon, Stony Brook, you've played in a lot of programs very successfully. But being Canadian, there's always that box background, it seems like, for everyone who grows up in Canada, because that's really what lacrosse is. When you ask a Canadian, it's box lacrosse. I read a quote that said that you've always wanted to be, like, it was a dream to be in the NLL. Can you kind of take us through, like, how long box has been a part of your life and I guess how you saw this playing out? And if it was really, when you were young, was this a realistic dream for you to say, like, yeah, I want to be a part of the NLL, I want to be a scout?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're spot on with that. You know, grew up playing box. I guess my first season was technically boys field, but like my real, like, yeah, let's hit this was, playing box at 8 years old. And I played on a boys field team with both of my younger brothers. We were the whole attack line of the U9.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Roadrunners. So I always think that's a fun story of like, a whole family ordeal. And yeah, I mean, come from a lacrosse family that, kind of became our night out. My dad got me and him season tickets to the WLA Salmon Bellies. And so that was our Thursday night for a few years, hitting up those games. And then when the Stealth moved to Vancouver, I mean, we were pumped and we were season ticket holders and went to those games. So, I mean, that really was what I, loved doing in our extra time and was, became a really special time away. So I kind of didn't really joke, but I was always like, hey, you know what? I'm going to work for I want to do this. Like, I want to be involved in pro lacrosse, pro box lacrosse. And I've just had a passion for it for a really long time. So, yeah.
How many boys did you send home crying because they lost to a girl before they knew really how good you were?
Only a few. It was the worst. You'd be like playing with the boys and you'd be like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I played boys box kind of growing up. BC did a pretty, has done a good job of growing the game. So obviously there was more female teams to play on. So, that was cool. But then also got to play boys a bit too.
So Glenn Clark won general manager and head coach of the year last year. But not every head coach in this league is also the general manager. Mm-hmm. Some franchises have a split there. Is your ultimate goal to be a GM, to be the one that's constructing these rosters, that's making these draft decisions?
Hey, I mean, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
I think if you can believe it and dream it, it's possible. And
would you rather coach or would you rather be kind of the architect of a team, or both?
I don't know. I mean, I think the GM might be like a pretty good attainable start for that. And I think, just especially learning in this role, I think it might be, something to strive for. And I love coaching. I'm thankful to coach as my, as my day job. The fact that I can have a career coaching here at Central Michigan is really awesome. And but yeah, I mean, that would be sick.
Shonly, you brought it up, but how do you do both? Like, how does this world work where you're an assistant coach at Central Michigan for the women's lacrosse team, outdoor game, obviously, and you're scouting, I guess? Are you just watching a lot of lacrosse all the time?
Yeah. I mean, I do already as it is. So whether I was in this role or not, I'd have, every game on, I think. So that's something Coach Clark knows, as I've watched every NLL game every weekend and have for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, for me, obviously in the NLL, even all these players have full-time jobs, right? So, obviously with just where the pro box league is at right now, hopefully, that can change. I think certainly for the players, but I think everybody involved, right? It takes a lot of heart and hard work and dedication that these all these people put into making this league run. And so it'd be really awesome to see it, transform into, what it deserves to be. So yeah, for me, it's obviously still having a day job. And, what's cool is, I guess what's cool for me is with, getting started with it and just the state of the league that, I can be involved remotely and, be involved come, draft time from all of us, wherever we're at, get together for that. And then, follow along and be involved with the team, on a week-to-week basis, I guess, when I can, and then get out to a few games early. So I'll be at the home opener. It's during American Thanksgiving. So catch you on November 30th.
You can teach me a few things. I'll come to you and be like, all right, these are my talking points. Help me out here. I go to an expert.
Yeah, give me a scout on the other team.
Yeah,
Give me a scout on this. Yeah, for sure.
Well, she's scouting college kids for the most part, but
yeah,
you'll still be watching NLL, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's just kind of a cool role that, Coach Clark kind of thought that I'd be able to fit in and, in that way and really contribute right away, just with, the amount of Americans that are playing and Canadians that are down here playing in college lacrosse, right? It's a big time of their development. So, just like, taking, my analysis of that and, being able to, I think, contribute right away with something. So it's a pretty cool thing that they've kind of made out of this. So.
All right, give us a scout on the number 1 pick, Dyson Williams, coming in, number 1 pick from last year. But give us a scout on him for Albany fans who have not seen him play. Maybe they watched a little bit of him on TV while he was at Duke, but they're going to see him maybe for the first time ever on opening night, which is at home for the FireWolves. Give us a little read on him.
Oh, yeah, an incredible pick for sure. And he is just an unbelievable finisher. You watch him, he just is always open. He just finds a way to always get open, and his shot is automatic. It is in the net, and he has a great ability to find those spaces and make plays and score goals. And I think his stats have really shown that. And he did a tremendous job at Duke, and I think it's super exciting to see him fit in, especially with just the personnel that we have on the right side right now. I think him and Simmons, Longboat, and just a lot of these guys are going to do a really great job playing together. And excited for his addition for sure.
Shonly, when you're not coaching or scouting, when do you eat and sleep? Do you do all of that? This is going to be like 7 days a week job for a while here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, who wants free time, right? Lacrosse is my free time, right? Something like that.
And here's the benefit, not seeing the full hoodie you've got on. Central Michigan and the FireWolves are the same colors.
They are the same
so
colors.
I'm all burgundy right now. Sorry, maroon. Sorry, we're maroon. We're maroon.
Yeah.
But no, I love it. I'm like, got my nails all maroon. I'm like,
all right.
Nice.
I'm like, I don't know.
You could just kind of blend in, like, this is a Central Michigan shirt. Yeah, this is an Albany FireWolves
shirt.
It's
actually kind of fun. I noticed that kind of, this happening around the same time. I was like, okay, my colors are maroon and gold. Let's go.
Yeah,
beautiful. Well, Shonly, we look forward to seeing you on November 30th for the opener. I look forward to working with you kind of in the same, organization, in the same league, which is pretty cool. And I'll certainly pick your brain because you're much more the expert than I.
Congrats, Shonly. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, guys. This was great, and appreciate just your time and support with this. So go FireWolves, and we'll see you in Albany soon.
Fall in love with camping all over again with a new RV from Alpen House. As our attention turns to changing leaves and tailgate parties, be sure to stop by Alpen House to find the perfect RV for your fall camping trips. You'll love this Coachman Catalina for only $131 a month. And check out this Keystone Cougar Sport for only $358 a month. Whether you're snowbirds heading south or leaf peeping through New England, our outfitters will make sure you have everything you need for your autumn adventure. Shop online at alpenhouserv.com or come see us in Amsterdam and Saratoga.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpen House.
Cool addition for the Albany FireWolves franchise,
Very
right?
cool.
First female scout in league history. One thing we didn't
that.
get to here, how much does this change the Chiefs? Where does DeAndre Hopkins rank after Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper on that wide receiver market?
I mean,
Third?
Yes, third for sure.
But with Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback?
And that's the thing. Another option.
Yeah. Could make
Pretty
things
good one.
very interesting for Kansas
They
City.
had to do something, right?
Correct.
Everybody else made a move. They went and got the only other guy that was probably available.
Yep, I think that's a pretty good move
No
too.
doubt.
Yeah, Rashee Rice comes back healthy at some point. They'll be loaded and ready to go again. Oh, by the way, they still haven't lost. Thanks for watching Onorato and Miller. Everybody have a great weekend.